How do you like my new setup? Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. Comic-Con came and went, and yeah, that wasn't exciting at all, except for Army of Thieves, which Zack Snyder and Matthias Schweighöfer presented over at a Comic-Con panel. But more of that in the next video. Now, even though DC was not at Comic-Con, Dave the Film Junkie had a great interview with a DJ, Brian Hirota, Damon Caro, and Patrick Tatopoulos, the Snyder crew. They talked about a whole bunch of things, their experience working with Zack Snyder, their experience working together. Not too much because they can't reveal much about The Flash, but they did talk about Justice League and other projects that they've worked together and even their processes as well. There's one cool thing that kind of urges you to keep fighting for Restore the Snyderverse is Patrick Tatopoulos revealed why he revealed that image of Ben Affleck as Batman. He simply said you need to keep talking about Snyder's vision, keeping it in the spotlight and keep bringing awareness that Snyder's vision is immense. It's great and it's awesome, and we definitely want to see it one day, maybe on HBO Max. Now, speaking about Ben Affleck Batman, yeah, he's still not on set of The Flash. I know we had discussions about before that he was seen going on an airplane, but apparently that wasn't the case. He was just going on vacation with J-Lo and the kids. Bummer! But this is coming from the Flash Film News. Apparently, there's an update on The Flash that we may get to see Ben Affleck's Batman finally on the set. The Flash is set to film in Glasgow. Shortly after Indiana Jones 5 wraps production, filming will commence around August in George Square. It's rumored Ben Affleck will be on set. Are you sure? Because, you know, the last time it was going on a plane, and yeah, that he wasn't going to the set. But they clarified where this news is coming from by a few news outlets and a few people we know who have been following the production closely. Nothing has been confirmed regarding his schedule, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed indeed. I want to see him on set. I wonder if he's going to be back in the Batfleck outfit or not. What's going to happen? How much of a role does he have? I want to see that all. So hopefully by August, we'll finally get to see him on set. Bring it on, Batfleck. Bring it on. Now, The Suicide Squad is the next DC film that's coming out, and that's coming out on August 6th. Also, early screenings on August 5th as well. So, you know, the cast are having many press junkets right now. They even showed a few interesting clips from the film. But when Jake Hamilton from Jake's Takes interviewed the cast, and he talked a little bit about how, you know, James Gunn kind of pitched a DC versus Marvel movie, he had to ask this question to the cast members.
You know, obviously, with this film and Guardians, James Gunn obviously becomes the first filmmaker to get screen credit for directing both a Marvel film and a DC film. And it's leading a lot of us to hope that one day, just maybe, there might be a DC Marvel crossover movie. If that were to happen, who is the character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe you would love to see recruited into the Suicide Squad?
Fuck Marvel.
Hang on. He's got a point. Let's hear him out.
It just reminds me back in a previous Comic-Con where David Ayer said the same thing. F Marvel. He said it too, and that just brings back memories for it. And of course, David Ayer retweeted that and had to share his expression for when Courtney said the same thing that David Ayer said at a Comic-Con. Apparently, the Suicide Squad has now gotten a long-range tracking box office earnings, and this is what they said. The Suicide Squad will be earning $35 million to $60 million in the film's domestic box office opening weekend. Whoa! Ouch! Wow. Okay, that's not that good, especially if it's on the 35 million end. It looks like it may not make as much as the first Suicide Squad, which made $133 million in the box office opening weekend. But hold on a minute. Now, let's not get carried away because we are still living in a pandemic era. So what are the other two blockbuster superhero type films have done in the box office opening weekend in a pandemic era? Well, Black Widow opened at $80 million. Fast 9, which, you know, I call it a superhero because that's Kind of crazy what they do with cars. Fast 9 opened at $70 million. Okay, the Suicide Squad is still shy from those box office opening weekends, but of course this is just a long-range tracking, and as we get closer, it definitely could change. The other thing that affects this number is that Suicide Squad is having a day-and-date release on HBO Max and in theaters, so it's coming out at the same time. Black Widow had the same thing, except, Disney Plus charged $30 to watch it on Disney Plus. Fast 9, I don't think had a day and date, so your only option was to watch it in theaters. So I looked up an HBO Max, at least a recent HBO Max blockbuster film, and Godzilla vs. Kong came in at about $32 million box office opening weekend. That was also the same day premiere on HBO Max and in theaters. Now, just to add another fact in here is that Godzilla vs. Kong ended up at $69.5 million domestic. So in comparison, the Suicide Squad opens at $60 million, then it's very much possible it ends its run over $60 million in box office earnings for domestic, which honestly is a win when you're going this way and not this way. Because the last DC movie, Wonder Woman 1984, ended up at $46 million in domestic box office earnings. The other factor is that this is a rated R movie as opposed to the first Suicide Squad, which is PG-13. So I guess you can say it's kind of hard to tell whether this is going to be a success or not. There is nothing really to compare it to, especially during a pandemic era, and also having a same-day release in theaters and on HBO Max. And with the Delta variant and things rising over in different states, it's lucky any movie gets box office opening nowadays. So like I said, it's kind of hard to tell in this era. It's pandemic era. We don't know how things are going to perform. As long as it's going upwards, that's all Hollywood can ask for. So yeah, my next video is going to be about Army of Thieves. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see this trailer. I didn't get to react to it at all. I mean, look at this. Look at how much stuff I did today. It was insane.